Harlequin Audio is proud to bring you Rosie Colored Glasses by Brianna Wolfson, performed by Devon Sorvari. Prologue. Willow Thorpe knew friction, the heat it created when one thing rubbed against another, when one world rubbed against another. Willow felt it every time she got into the back seat of her mother's car, buckled her seatbelt, grabbed her brother's hand, and prepared to return to her father's house. Every time she stared out the window of her mother's car and traced the familiar turns of the street on her way to her father's. Every time her father opened the big heavy front door and grumbled, "Late again, Rosie." Every time her mother casually responded with a smirk and a "Catch you later, Rex." Every time she looked up at her father and became self-conscious of the way her knees knocked together. Every time she went from art-covered walls to plain white ones. Every time she went from mango tango crayons to yellow No. 2 pencils. Willow had a sense that the children of other divorced parents fantasized about what it might be like for their mother and father to be in love again, for their mother to tighten their father's tie in the morning before work, for their father to zip up their mother's dress in the evening before dinner, for their mother and father to share a casual kiss on the lips when they thought their children weren't looking. For every picture frame around the house to display an image of a whole family, mother, father, and brother and sister, tangled around one another. But Willow didn't think about any of that. She thought about her tough and serious father in one world, and her warm and glimmering mother in the other, and the 3 times a week when one world grated up against the other. But that grating of worlds, all that friction and heat, was worth it for Willow whenever she could return to her mother's world. Because in that world, her mother's love was magical and it was fierce. Willow felt this kind of love could crystallize inside of her and fortify her, that it could fulfill her in the truest, realest sense, that it could keep her safe and happy forever. But Willow was wrong. In her life there would soon be confusion and sadness and pain and loss, and her mother's manic love for her daughter could not protect Willow from any of these things. In fact, it might have even caused them. 1. 12 years ago. At 24, Rosie Collins believed that love was both specific and all-consuming. She believed that true love accessed the back of the earlobe as much as it accessed the heart. She believed that there was one special, nuanced way one human being could love another human being. And she thought of those nuanced, invisible, loving forces whenever she saw lovers together in the park or the subway or on a bench. She imagined the names they called each other before bed, his favorite place to put his hand, her favorite shirt of his to wear to bed, the silly thing she said that made him laugh and laugh, the ugly painting he bought for their apartment that she loved seeing on the living room wall. Rosie took the job at Bloom's Flower Shop on 22nd Street and 8th Avenue as soon as she moved to Manhattan, in part for the money, in part because she liked the idea of someone named Rosie working in a flower shop. But mostly she took the job so she could gain access to those loving forces. Like all of her other petty jobs, she would have to perform certain mundane tasks, this time arranging flowers, manning the register, and transcribing messages onto cards. But Rosie thought she might be able to keep this job for longer than the usual 6 weeks, because at Bloom's Flower Shop she saw the greater meaning in her work. She saw herself facilitating love. She fantasized about the thousands of love stories of which she would witness the tiniest glimpse as
Sample complete. Ready to continue?